1 minute. Ask your questions right here to our guest, and I'll give all the reasons and all that type of stuff. Just like I said, I'm just getting people in. Yep. New York City, what up? And why? I'll be out there January 19th. I'll be doing a show with Visine, Raphael. Yeah, I'll be out there. I'll have post more information on my social media right here. Ooh, Hawaii. Ooh, I'm going to try to, hopefully, if the cash is right, February. All right. We're going to start the show. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's up? This is Shadow Rockin' Profo Won of the Floor Gangs and Knuckleneck Tribe, and you're watching The Trays, a show about hip-hop, breaking, and the business of. And of course, this is Season 3, Episode 2. So, man, it's been a kind of a long week. Like I said, December is my month of where I'm just kind of taking a break as far as competition. I did a whole year of going crazy. So basically this month, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of chill out and still practice, still train, but you know, I'm gonna go out. I'm not actually gonna go drink. And I actually went out to Motown Mondays the other day, and I got a little bit inebriated. Then I went out the following. Actually, I was drinking on the show last week, and I was already getting pretty aggressive and talking smack to the younger generation. And then then I actually went out again Sunday. It was at the Red Bull BC, the Red Bull 3-style attraction, which is actually a DJ battle, and the local boy, Lazy Boy, won. And he's gonna actually, and it was pretty good. I personally like DJ Dynamics from LA. And it's not like how all the DJ battles used to go on before. It was like that. It wasn't just scratching and juggling. It was actually mixing and Can You Rock the Party, while you had the live beat creating, and rocking a party with this and the way you mixed. And it was pretty dope. And Lazy Boy won. So I drank there too. I actually danced too a little bit. What up, fam? Uno, DJ Track, Team Fearless. Well, there's a shout. So, I did a lot of that this week. Worked out, obviously. And now I am here doing the show once again. I'm going to try to do it once a week. And keep that continuous, because I'm trying to get on that commentary. me and Ark have been trying, and we have our ways, but like I said, we're gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to do this as much as I can. All right, let's see. Let's see if Venicia's on yet. What up, Vanicia? You gotta tune in. So check this out. If you got any questions for Vanicia, ask them here, and I'm gonna get her on soon. As I'm seeing people from Texas, from New York, from Seattle, and there's a reason why I picked Vanicia. She's been there she is. She's been basically posting a lot of dope stuff on her social media as far as mental health, and at the same time, I've been seeing her a lot lately, just doing her thing, representing. So I seen her around, and I was like, okay, she's dope. But then not just that, and, for me, it's not just the whole thing of, are you a dope B-boy or B-girl? It's like, what are you bringing to the table? And as far as what's going on in hip-hop, if you read U-God's book called Raw, U-God from Wu-Tang Clan, he talks about going to therapy. And even as we speak, I'm in therapy right now because we're trying to do more than just, I'm going to call someone out and value, and that's how it's going to solve all our trauma. No, it's not. And even winning. Some people are like, yeah, if I win this competition, I'm going to have everything I wanted. And then yet you still do some heinous shit like it's cool. You know what I mean? Like you do heinous shit like it's cool and thinking because you won a title or that you've battled somebody. And that was a lot. That's why I'm writing off a little bit of what we were talking about last week about should tradition change, because maybe some of the tradition is bullshit. And even with Crazy Legs on the show, he was saying like, yo, there's a lot of stuff that is thought to be tradition. Like we were never hard rocks. Like we did some foul stuff, but then we were never hard rocks. And that's being pushed into what breaking is. So the reason why I picked Vanicia was because lately she's been posting a lot of stuff of other b-boys and b-girls telling their story on mental health. And I just wanted to know how she got started and all that type of stuff. So I'm about to call her in. So our guest today is... Tune in, V. I'm calling you. Better answer. What up, V?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing? I gave you a little good intro right there.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I've been seeing you around through mutual friends too. I've been seeing you
Yeah.
around a lot lately. Actually, I think the first time I saw you was at Atlanta for Sweet 16 Southeast Finals, and
Right.
I've heard of you, and that's the first time I saw you, and you're judging. So I didn't really, I was too busy battling, so I didn't get to say hi, or I try to as much as I can. You know, I'm trying to
Yeah.
break that stigma of like I'm a b-boy and no, I'm not gonna say what's up to nobody, and then like get out of here with that. So I didn't
Yeah.
get to say what's up to you, and then we have some mutual friends. We have Genesis, who lives out here, and then
hmm
she's close to my boy Greg. So then
Okay.
we finally met over at Break the Bay. Like you said, what's
Yeah.
up? And then
Yeah.
like I said, I've seen videos of you dance and stuff like that. But then like we got like we actually hung out. It was like last year at Renegades reunion. It was like
Right. Yeah, that
and
was
then we all
good
just
times.
went out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing you around, and then when I started following you, um, you have your funny posts like, and you're like, who's the best MC or who's the best favorite comedian?
Yeah.
We're all just messing around. But then, like, well, first before we go into why one of the reasons why I want you on the show.
hmm
So how did you first start breaking, or were you dancing first and then breaking, or yeah, just tell give a little bit of background of like how you started and how long you've been doing it.
Well, just to sum it up, I'm originally from California. I'm from
Okay.
Tule River Indian Reservation.
Oh,
It's in
word.
Central California. It's between Fresno and Bakersfield, just tucked
Oh,
in
okay.
near
Wow,
like
wow.
the right
Central
before
Valley.
it meets right at the Sequoia National Forest.
Okay.
So mountain people, and
Right.
pretty much was just freestyle dancing. I mean, house dancing as like now there's
Right.
terminology, but I was just
Right.
dancing. And
Right.
then I mean, I've always kind of been around breaking.
What year was that?
God, I mean, when I got into like dancing,
Hmm.
God, I was like in seventh grade, eighth grade, but it wasn't like I was like training. I was just
Right.
having
Right. Right.
fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it
Yeah.
wasn't until like I was in my later years, probably late teens, I ended up meeting Pablo from Soul Control,
Okay. Word.
and then Eric, Charles, and all
Right.
them.
Right.
And
Right.
they're not the ones that put me on. I've
Right.
always kind of been around it,
Yeah.
just because all elements were pretty much together back then at events in
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
California. All
Right.
elements were represented.
Right.
Um, but it was just like kind of like an easy thing to get a hold of. But I never really was serious about breaking until like they kind of introduced me to it, kind of showed me the ropes, Eric and all
Right.
them. And then I moved to Tennessee to go to school, but also to go to a rehab program.
Oh wow.
Um, and I was there for 5 years. But the little I knew in breaking wasn't really much. But it
Right.
wasn't until like a year later, I was in Chattanooga. I moved to Tennessee,
Right.
and we were just me and some friends were just walking around, and we heard some music, and I had to use the restroom really bad. I had to go pee, and
Right.
they were like, the doors open, and I heard funk music, and I was like, in Tennessee, like I was just tripping. And then
Right.
I walk in this room, and it's this guy named Construct. He was locking, and his wife was popping, and this one guy was trying to teach, like just trying to break. And I was
Right.
like,
Right.
you got to be kidding me. So I ended up it was trip. I didn't really know much I just kind of like was embarrassed, but I kind of got down a little. Like it was so
Right.
like God embarrassing. But I get, you know, we exchanged numbers. I never seen them, and then like 7 to 8 months later, they called me, and they're like, "You want to go to an event in Atlanta?" And I was like, "Okay." And I went, and I show up to this event,
Mhm.
and Alpha Tryon, everybody was there.
Okay, word. Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
Burn Unit, Totem,
Yeah,
Vendetta,
yeah.
like
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I walk into the jam. Not even 5 minutes later, that Shorty and Faust were actually DJing it.
Oh,
Um,
shit. Nice.
yeah, so I knew who they were because I was like, you know, into like DJ and turntablism and everything. And then
Yeah, yep.
the
Yep.
MC gets on the mic and says, "There's a B-girl exhibition about to go down. It's this girl from Kool-Aid from Hawaii and V from California." And I was like, I
What?
don't break. I don't break. I literally like lost my crap. And
Right.
I just did it. It was a 5 round exhibition, so that was my
Holy
way in the
crap.
scene. And Alpha, everybody can testify, and they saw me. I had no idea. I just freestyle danced, and kind of that's how I started, kind of gaining my reputation. And from then on, I just kind of self-taught myself. I'd go to jams when I could. I'd sneak out because I wasn't allowed to go, being at the
Right.
program. But I would watch people and try to remember what I saw, and just pretty much self-taught until I moved to Nashville. And that's pretty much how it was. It's not like the prettiest upbringing. I didn't have anybody to teach me,
Right,
but
right, right.
I just had a lot of passion, and I loved it. So I'm still doing it till, you know, here I am now. So yeah,
Yeah, that, so how long is that? So
that's
starting
like
from
probably about,
like
like I
Central
would
Valley.
say maybe 14, 15 years.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay, so maybe like early 2000s, like early
yeah,
2000s. Okay.
yeah,
That's dope. And that's the thing. It's like it's funny because like as I teach more, it's crazy how like you're saying, it's like it's not like when you start. So that was like kind of like, you know, there was like like there was still VHSs going on and maybe
yeah,
DVDs, right?
yeah,
You know what I mean? YouTube was
definitely.
still like coming out, but then
Yeah,
it was like what you said is like you would try to remember what they were
yeah,
doing, and then you never know. Sometimes, in a way, a lot of the ways we're trying to like subconsciously maybe copy the same move, but then because we're going from memory versus like we're just watching a tape or a
yeah,
video
yeah.
frame by frame to get it,
Hmm.
you're actually creating at that moment because you're creating from memory or trying to like copy
Yeah,
from memory. And you end up creating something totally different than like, you know, what you thought you saw. You might see the person like 5 months later, it's like, wait, that's not. Oh well, well it's mine now. You know what I mean?
right. I mean, I knew better not to bite, though. I mean,
Right, 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 right.
that's kind of like self-knowing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
And
So that's
the
how I
thing
kind of
is
got
too,
into it.
it's just like, and plus as I teach, I didn't realize how much we're kind of like teaching ourselves a certain muscle memory, a certain strength. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Versus like, you know, now that I teach, it's like, how do you do that? I'm like, uh, just I saw and I did it. That's the best way I could
yeah,
describe it. Like, you know, I could do it for whatever reason. Our minds
yeah,
are downloading all these things that is making our skill set higher. Not like now
definitely.
it's like you know what I mean. Now it's just like now it's like, and I give credit to teachers who teach people how, because our generation or even older, we just did it. Like it was kind of just like I even see that you're you know right behind you is like a rock climbing wall, and you're just gonna
Yeah,
gangster it out and climb it. You know what I mean? Versus
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, just like how people are like, I need to get prepared before I walk the wall, and that, like, you know,
yeah,
we kind of just have that will to just do it and like, you know, trial and error and just over and over and over again, repetition and
right,
stuff.
right,
Okay, so that's leading me to basically my second question is that, you know,
right.
and you kind of mentioned it, is that you went to rehab before you moved out to the southeast, and yeah, like what inspired you to do this, you know, this kind of mental health awareness campaign? You know, what was the thing that wanted you? Because you know that's different. Because usually people on social media, it's like, look at my practice, look at, you know, my battle footage, or look at my pictures. You're like, I'm gonna take different stories from different people
Right,
and post, you know, what's their innermost thoughts and kind of like be transparent and vulnerable on your
right.
social media. So what started that?
Well, being the fact that when I went to rehab, there was a lady by the name of Zona, and
Mhm.
she basically saved my life. I mean, when I had got there, I was under 90 pounds. I had a shaved head. I was just a completely different person. I had no self-esteem. I constantly shamed myself. I constantly just, it was just some dark stuff. And
Right.
it wasn't like she just had like the methods to make everything better. She
Right.
basically met me at the level of where I was at. And she was completely transparent. And I, aside from like being raised by a strong women, I've never encountered somebody so bold, so strong, and like who actually possessed and like showed me what love was.
Right.
And that took many years of plowing, many years of building my trust because I wouldn't even talk. Like I didn't even have a voice because I was just so bound and so like, I mean, when I was dating Cody, I would try to throw myself out of the car, like literally throw myself
Wow.
out because I was so gone. Or I would always wear a jacket down, we'd go to the mall and I'd wear this massive jacket and he'd hold my hand and I'd let go and let him walk and then hide because I was
Right.
so like, I'm not good enough. Like, so growing up, I feel like I've had my own traumas. I have my own story. It's a very dark past. And a lot of the times I put it out there. I give stories about what's happened to me, but I'm never going to give everything because
Right.
that's
Of course.
like with everything I realized like as time has went on and here I am now. I mean, it's not like because of mental health is trendy because that's just a foolish thing to say. But I just believe like we should be able as a scene to meet people at the level where they're at. The scene is always preaching love and the scene is always preaching battling. But where's grace? Where's mercy?
Right.
There's so many
Right.
people in the scene that mess up every day. We see infidelity, we see backbiting, we see cheating, we see all this stuff
Oh
where
yeah.
we
Oh
all
yeah.
backbite each other, but there's no grace, there's no mercy. Like we're not showing people that they can be forgiven. And when we backbite each other, there's so much shame. There's like shame is the worst feeling. And I've talked to so many people that can't let go of, man, I messed up or someone saw me drunk and I did this. But
Right.
we're the scene that's supposed to preach love, but we keep holding like if we're antagonizing people. So that's
Right.
just one of many things that we don't realize. Like when they go home, how do we not know they're cutting themselves or they're wanting to kill
Right.
themselves or they're drowning themselves in the sorrow? So that's just one little pocket of many things that's happening. And um, I'm not the type of person that's really into selfies and I'm not putting
Yeah. Yeah.
anybody down.
Right.
That's just never been my thing.
Yeah.
But seeing people day in and day out that even if they don't want to kill themselves, I've met people personally that want to murder other people
Yeah.
that deal with that. So
Yeah.
it goes deep. And the thing is, like, I just want to be able to put people's stories out there and let the scene know that not everybody has the right thing to say. And it's not because they don't mean to. Some people just don't have the capacity for the right things to say. But we can also put it out there to the scene that there are people in the scene that may have an ear to hear you. They may just what people want that deal with mental health. Basically, for me, I didn't talk, but what helped me was just having somebody present, somebody who's actually listening to me and not just like wanting me to like hurry up and talk just for me to shut up for they can talk
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're not really listening. They're not
Right.
really
Right.
like, you know what I mean? And I respect people's story and their life because our tomorrow is not promised. And there's a lot of people like you, like we can name a ton of people who have a platform in the scene. And there's people who don't know how to use their platform. And how do we not know the people that are writing their stories will never be taken serious?
Right.
If they use their platform, people wouldn't read it.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Some
Yeah.
people
Yeah. Yeah.
just read like, oh, whatever. But
Yeah.
if I can, I'm really nobody, but if I can put out, because I actually care about this story and be like, listen, you're gonna hear it. And the reason why I won't start like an IG page for it, because I don't want another gimmicky IG page where people can just shame other people and be like, ah, that fool did this. When it's on my page, if someone steps to them, they're not gonna mess with me because I'm gonna protect them. And that's what
Right.
we need to show people in the scene, that if we love each other and we're down for each other, we can protect each other. We can protect each other's story because we know where they've been.
Right.
So there's a lot of
Huh.
reasons why I'm doing it, but I just love people and I want to see people get better because honestly, when I'm reading their stories, I'm preaching to myself because I still deal with things. I still have things that I need help in and I'm getting, you know what I mean? So it's
Right.
just, so
No,
it's
I
just to
hear it.
help
No,
people.
I mean, like, and like I said, that's why it's like when we first, I think the first thing I saw was from Omar,
Yeah,
from Jive Turkeys,
right.
and it was kind of like, wow, oh shoot, I didn't realize he felt that way. And because like I said, we all go through it. And the thing is, like, I think especially in breaking, I would say
Mm-hmm.
specifically breaking,
Right.
for B-boys and B-girls, it's kind of like, it's like, let's take that aggression out, not realizing we're actually projecting whatever's going on in ourselves
Yeah.
to the judges or to the guy that smoked me. We gotta be aggressive. We gotta do this thing and blah 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 blah. When it's like,
Yeah.
my best battles are the ones that, like, what quote unquote West Coast people were doing was
Oh, yeah,
just
they're
like
funny.
sitting in a circle, and this guy doesn't move and I got to move. It
Right.
became this whole like, I'm gonna throw 10 million cocks in your face and burn you and humiliate you and talk like, yo, like, I remember back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, if we did that shit, it's an automatic punch in the face. Like, now
Yeah.
it's like all this stuff is allowed and it's cool, but it's really not. Like, it's really
Yeah.
not. Like, give me the patty cake ciphers, because those are
Yeah.
the most fun ones where it challenges me physically, where I'm
Right.
not thinking about the let me talk smack to you. Let me talk. I've seen people get racist in
Yeah,
ciphers.
that's not cool.
Like, look,
That's
you're
not cool.
Japanese. I'm calling you out. Like, what the hell is that? Like,
That's
you know what I mean?
personal. Yeah.
And then, like, even from, you got even Eastern Europe or Russia going like, oh, they're black, so I'm gonna throw banana, like, like some crazy, like, and it's
Right.
really like, and then even like, let's call the judges out, because I don't, like, yo, these are all opinions, and honestly, I'll put it right now, I don't care, and anyone can front me on this too. It's really that calling out the judges is kind of like, mom, dad, you're not giving me validation, because I
Right.
practiced in the garage for years and years, and I bled
Right.
sweat and tears. So I hate you, mom and dad. I'm gonna call you out. That's what it really is, B-boys and B-girls. It's not on some skill stuff. It's not because
Yeah.
I'm challenged. And you know the difference when you get called out that way, when it's on
Yeah.
skill. I want to test my
Right.
skills, so I'm gonna call you out, because it's always gonna be respectful. Now, when it's
Right.
like, man, you suck, you blah blah blah, you're really saying you hate yourself. Really? Let's be
Yeah.
100% real. I'll put it out there, and next time someone calls me out like that, I'm be like, you need a hug, dog. Like, you don't
Right.
need to call me
Right.
out. You need a
Right.
hug, man. You need someone to talk to. You know what I mean? When it really
Right.
comes to that. And I'm trying to, like, I'm like Kylo Ren, man. I'm trying to kill the past almost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be
Yeah.
like, that's not the way. That never was
Right.
the way when I grew up. It's always about just skill. It's always, if it's about skill, it's not this, let me take my aggressions out. And granted, I've done it before. You know what I mean? Granted, I've talked
Mm-hmm.
smack. I've been there, and I felt like crap walking away from it. Like, that didn't do anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why it's like, and that's why it's good that you're pushing this, and that's why, I wanted you on the show too, because it's kind of like, we need to start somewhere where we're like, that's all, that's nice and dandy, but nah, it's not gonna get any more play. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we should, a win is not gonna get you that healing you need. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
beating someone in a cipher or comp is not gonna fix that trauma that you went through. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? We guys start saying it's okay to go to therapy or talk about it. Or it's
Yeah.
like you said, you
But
don't have to talk about everything. You know what I mean?
but
Out
you
in
know
public,
what?
you know?
Honestly, it's hard for people to trust people. There's
Right,
so many people that confine in people, and they go blab their mouths.
right.
That
Yeah,
affects
that's true
people's
too.
that affects people's mental health. And the thing is, it's like we're supposed to be grown people on the scene. Like,
Yeah,
the skill set doesn't mature your mentality. It's what you put in. It's what you feed yourself. And sometimes you shutting your mouth and not, holding somebody's information because they're trusting you. How do
hmm,
you not know, like, you're the only person they told because they felt that need? They felt that because you've earned that trust. You know what I
right,
mean? So when I'm asking people to, they send me or they're sharing, they're trusting me. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, I'm not going to devalue who they are because they're humans. So
Right.
it's just important that we do that. And like you're saying, like, of course, whatever people are going through, whatever's coming out is deeper than that. It obviously is. But there's
Right.
people in the scene. There's so many outlets. There's so many resources. There's so many things where people say you can go get help, talk to somebody. But some people, pride holds them back. Shame holds them back. It just takes time. And I
Right.
just feel like if we, as an individual, are able to meet people at the level where they're at, that's just a start. You got to start somewhere to get somewhere. If you know better, then you do better. And not everybody in the scene does better because they don't know better. You can't just expect everybody, because mental health is out there and like all these resources are out there. We can't expect everybody to just know when some people just don't want to know because they don't trust, they're not ready to heal yet because this stuff takes time.
Right.
So we don't know how deep that stuff is, you know? So
I agree. But I mean, like I said, you definitely started something. I mean, I know that there's a few individuals that would like, I know the Mighty Four Day, they had a mental health awareness, and it's just like, and like I said, it's not like a buzzword. It's not just like hype. This is like something that's been in hip hop culture for so long, where it's just you know, this masculine energy where it's like, but that's not working. It hasn't helped us. You know, because back then there wasn't competition. There was only street rap. Now that there's competition, there's people making money where you do have these world titles, but yet still, like, no one feels better. Even after the win, no one feels better. They still have some stuff going on where they don't even self-reflect on what's going on inside to kind of like, and I've seen it. I've seen guys break down because they haven't won, and I get it. You work hard, and this is it's therapeutic what we do. What we dance, you know, it's a therapy, but it's not the full thing that's going to cure us. It's not the full thing that's going to, like, now am I treating everyone in my life better? Am I self-aware of, like, maybe I shouldn't smoke that, or maybe I shouldn't drink that, even though I've been talking about that. Like, but see, I'm, you know, it's like a balance. It's a discipline of, like, knowing to have fun and knowing you're, like, compensating. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing, like, as we move on, where it gets into a, like, you know, and not everyone's going to agree that's good at getting to the Olympics or not, but as we move on, we need to move on as in a positive way where, like, we leave all that stuff, that old, and my whole thing is, like, respect the streets, but we're not trying to go back. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't want our kids to grow up that way. You know what I mean? And we can say whatever about this generation being softer, but there is always that warrior aspect where we work hard. Being a warrior is just being disciplined and working hard.
Yeah.
Regardless, win, lose, or draw, that's the draw of what brings us to this dance. Is expression, discipline are the main things. Then I could talk smack and belittle that person. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why I was like, you know, that's why I want to have this kind of, like, go on and have this discussion and stuff. Dang.
Well, I think if anything, it's okay to tell people in the scene that they can be balanced. It's okay to tell other people in the community that you can have more than one hobby aside from breaking. That it's okay that you can still be nasty on the floor and do other extracurricular activities. But a lot of times people feel like I have the blood, sweat, and tear it. And you know, if that's your phase and that's your moment to put that in, I'm not against that, because that's like what you want to do. That's your passion. You know what I mean? But if you feel like that's dying out, then get into other things. You know what I mean? Like, here I am at the rock climbing gym. I just got done training because I climb outdoors. You know what I mean? And I'm into other things. But the thing is this, like, I had to find that. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, those type of things, like, if it's anything to ease your whatever's going on in here, sometimes getting into other things does kind of like resurface and brings that balance, because you have more than one focus, more than one thing that is promising. But at the same time, it's like you're talking about people not, or what you were saying, something along the lines of people are not wanting to be soft, or
or vulnerable, or, you know what I mean?
But there's so much strength and vulnerability. It's okay to be vulnerable, but but even in being vulnerable, you got it in life. There's always that fine line of when you say too much or do too much. And But the thing is, if you mess up, that's how you learn to go, whoops, I'm not going to. But also, we're dealing with people. There's people in the scene that are single fathers. We have single mothers. We have people in the scene who are addicted to drugs. If not, they're addicted to something. We have people and it's all stemming from something, because there's always a root to that darkness. There's a root to something. You know what I mean? So there's so many different varieties going on in the scene, and we just can't always focus on one thing. And wanting everything to be just total, like, euphoric bliss is almost impossible. But like you're saying, it just takes one person. It just takes a choice. You can mess up one day and know that tomorrow is a new day and do
Right.
things a little better. You know what I
Right.
mean? Boys and B girls, I'm people who pop, you know, whackers, you know, I'm getting into like asking people who climb, just different walks of life, because we're all so different, but we're all not that different. We need each other.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe, I mean, if you read some of the things so far, some of the people who have, like the guy Danny Magic, you know,
Yeah.
he was like heavy into drugs and
Right.
alcoholism, and then he was 300 pounds and now he's 190. And I've always known him to be a popper. Now he's killing it breaking. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You never know. Yeah, you never know.
Consistency does not choose a day. Consistency isn't on Tuesday. It's every day. It's every day, every day.
Oh yeah,
And
you already know.
Zona, this woman, I mean, she passed away, God rest her soul, but if it was anybody that has taught me so much, it was that woman. I knew she knew one day she was going to die. And she was the only person I ever trusted. And I remember when the last time I saw her, she was like, she called me a little bit, and she was like, you know what? Life is going to get harder for you, but you better have a backbone of strength. You better take it the way you better take it. You better not give up. I swear to God, if you give up, I'm going to come out from the heavens and slap you in the face. But she was a super old country Tennessee lady.
Right.
But sometimes you just need that one person in your life. And next year, I leave next week. Cody and I are going to be on the road, just backpacking and climbing.
Nice.
So we'll be living out of our car, doing the
Oh
whole
shoot, okay.
dirt bag thing.
Right. Yeah.
We're like hella into that. But next year, just do more, just be more present for people.
Right.
Just invest more time in. Like if we want to talk about on a breaking tip, I'll show up where I need to show up. That's all.
There you go.
I don't really put it out there. I just show up.
Yeah, in the moment. That's how it is. Sometimes, like, wait, you're in town? Like, I'll be like, wait,
always,
in town? Go away.
I'm keeping it real.
I'm keeping it real. Like, okay, yeah, you keep it real dumb. All right. You're keeping it real dumb. All right.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm gonna sign out. Before I sign out, check out the new show that's about to happen. It's called The Truth, or How I Remember It. It's gonna be on.
Probably drop it after Christmas.
Probably drop it off after Christmas. I'm gonna put, like, there might be like short trailers here and there, whatever, whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a show that me and Rob Nasty have come up with, where it's kind of like drunk history, but we're not really drunk. But then it's gonna, now that we have a green screen, we're gonna go super crazy. Because everyone has a story. Everyone has a crazy story. I just dropped my crazy story Sunday. So yeah, be on the lookout for episode 1, The Truth, or How I Remember It. All right.
Check it out.
Check it out. All right. So remember, we're gonna be on next week right here on Instagram at PROFO_FLGZ, and you can catch this on YouTube, which is on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Profo Won with a WON.